Hey, 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 hey. Welcome to the IUKIS show. IUKIS show. Hello, everybody. Welcome one, welcome all. I can already feel that today will be quite interesting because, to say the least, to put it lightly, I am emotionally charged. I feel very angry right now, and I don't even 100% know why. Part of it, I'm just bored so bored. I put in about 4.5 hours of work today at the time of this recording, and I just don't know what to do with the rest of my day. The second is that I've been having a thought loop for a while now, and the thought loop is really starting to bother me because it just won't go away. And it only takes about 10-15 minutes after waking up for me to start thinking about it again. And I have to be, fully deep into something before it goes away. So, I'm praying to God that it will go away and that I can be free from it, because I've had thought loops before. I've actually had quite a lot of thought loops. It's crazy. Like, you get a thought in your head and then it won't go away, and then you start telling yourself that it's never going to go away, and it's kind of a scary thing because you feel like you're going insane. So hopefully it goes away. And then the other reason I'm feeling off is because I had an event on July 9th and I made $1,500, $1,600. And I got paid 400 of it already because that was just from sales of my own. But 1,200 of it is still missing, and it's July 28th. And the dude who has the money hasn't paid us out, and it's really bothering me because he should have paid us out already. And when I'm asking for him to pay out, he says, I'll let you know, or I'll do it as soon as it's possible. And it's just sketchy. Don't trust him. Really annoying guy. To be quite honest, a dick. Obsessed with power, always trying to be at the top of the power structure, and just such an unnecessary thing to do. Especially when you guys were homies first. And yeah, it's just very bothersome. So that's been bothering me, the thought loop and the payout with the dude. And yeah, yesterday I had a really interesting talk with my therapist, and that also brought out the aggression in me. And then I've been listening to a lot of like African drill, because I think that's personally the best type of drill music out there. And if you guys haven't heard it yet, you gotta check it out. I think my favorite is G4 Boys out of Ghana. Shout out G4 Boys, local scammer, SBA job. For some reason, Ghana drill just hits the spot. But yeah, so I had this talk about manhood yesterday, right? And I thought it was very, very interesting. Especially, as me being somebody that's been in New York for over 4 years now, on and off. But for some reason, manhood is just condemned. All of the things that men traditionally stand for, which is leadership, strength, aggression, putting your foot down, assertiveness, like eating protein, carnivore, meat eater, not being ashamed and being less self-conscious, just taking actions without thinking so much, being more impulsive. Pretty much all of these things have become some part of quote unquote, toxic masculinity. And I'm just here to say that I'm not afraid to say that I'm unashamed of my manhood, and I will be assertive, and I will be aggressive, and I will be strong. I will put my foot down for what is right, and I will eat a lot of meat because it tastes great. So yeah, these things have been getting under my skin, and I just want to get them off of my chest with you guys, because this is my therapy right here. This, in addition to talking to my therapist, right? But I think so much. So I need to get these things off my chest, and it really helps me to do this. But yeah, those things have been making me angry. And I'm almost in a place right now where it's like, I don't want to not be angry. And this is something that we should all be aware of with our emotions. A lot of times, we get in a negative state, and then we sort of want to stew in it. I know I do. I want to stay there, and like, partly because I'm lazy and don't want to shift, but partially, well, I don't even know. That might be like 90% of it, is that we just don't want to shift back into feeling good, because if we wanted to, we could. And this is essentially my effort to switch back into being into a good mood, and to switch back into being positive, switch back into really seeing how great life is, because I know it is. So what I really want to talk to you guys about today is some of the positive things. I feel like we've gotten the like paperwork out of the way, and you say the negative things first, and then the positive things last, and then the positive things are what stays in your mind. So many good things. First, it looks like the sale is still moving forward, with the 2 pieces of my art. Started on July 4th, so it's been a long journey over 3 weeks. But, it just seems like the guy isn't a scammer for sure. And, hey, I just have a feeling that it's going to go through, and that's going to be amazing. Yeah, I can't wait. But yeah, keep praying, and I'm praying, my family's praying. But yeah, so that goes through. I'm going to be very excited. The second one is I posted my portrait of Xavier Wolf, and he posted it on his story. He actually posted it on his story, and he commented twice on it, which is amazing. And I'm so thankful for that. I want to thank God for that. It got me up to like 350 likes on my artwork, and it's awesome. This is very, very exciting. Like, my artwork has now been on Xavier Wolf's story. He has 419,000 followers on Instagram. So that's 2 very good things right there. The third good thing that I have to report is, over the past 2 days, I've just been really motivated and doing a lot of work. I'm making it to 7 hours now, and that's good. That's almost 50-50 with work and relaxation per day. And I kind of want to have that 50-50 split, you know what I mean? 50% productive work and then 50% rest. So I'm just thankful that I'm reaching that point. Yeah, feels good. Another thing is, I confirmed with a friend that she can bring around 150 people to my next art show, which is dope. And, this is a big pat on the back here, but I'm, thinking about the events that I've been doing, right? And this is how they come about. I meet somebody that brings artists together. I meet somebody that gets venues. I meet somebody that is a DJ. I meet somebody that has promoter friends. Bring them all together, work out the percentages, get the venue, bring it to life, and make thousands of dollars off of it. Ever since I was a child, I was always told in my report cards that I was a leader. And when I take, like things like Myers-Briggs, where it's like ENTJ, the personality, mine is ENTJ, which is commander, which is, the people who are like that are Gordon Ramsay, Steve Jobs, etc. Visionaries that bring people together and, just put pieces in place and are able to lead and are able to put their foot down. And this brings me back to the masculinity a little bit. And obviously women can be leaders, and there's strong women leaders, and I have a ton of women friends that are assertive themselves, and I honestly find that attractive in women. That is a strong factor in what I look for when I'm going on dates. Is she ambitious? Is she driven? Is she willing to assert herself? I like that. But in terms of masculinity, we treat that as a masculine trait, right? Just generally, because men tend to, we used to be hunters, and hunters require groups. You have to go out and plan everything out and figure out who's going to do what, and figure out the hierarchy. And I'm essentially the one that puts all the pieces together, but I'm mature enough to not be like this kid who still hasn't paid out yet. I'm mature enough to know that I put all the pieces together, sit in that, and really just make things come together. So I'm very proud of myself, and I just want myself to let this sink in. Because coming off of last night, when I was talking to my therapist, and even in this morning, when I'm just pissed right now. And I also tend to be in a worse mood in the morning, and then my mood gets better and better as the day goes on, which is very interesting and kind of cool, just to notice that about myself. But I've been feeling a need for some sort of validation, right? And where is that validation going to come from? Well, it's going to come from God, and it's going to come from me. So, when I was talking with my boy, I asked what we always end the call with, what do you want prayer for? What can I be praying for you about throughout the week? So what it was for me was that I take the first step in validating myself, and I've had a tumultuous relationship with flirting and with women over the years, over the past year especially, and I want to, become healthy in that, because I look to women for validation, and it's about high time that, I let myself and God validate me, and then I, approach women that I think are attractive with a full security in myself, because I think that's really going to enable me to have the relationship that I want. So yeah, I was taking the first step to validating myself, and the first step is, in the morning, just do it. Just tell yourself, hey, you're a leader, you're a natural born leader, you're attractive, you're a wolf, you bring people together, you make money, you're an entrepreneur, you're driven, you're smart, you're hardworking, all of those things, self-starter. And then let God affirm you as well, in the form of you are enough just as you are. You're on the correct path towards God's plan for your life. God loves you. You're never alone. And just kind of meditate on that, because it feels so good. God loves me. I'm not alone. I'm worthwhile. God made me the way I am because he wanted me to be the way I am for my specific mission in life. And that's a beautiful thing, and as I'm talking to y'all, it's like I'm doing that first step right now. That's why I've been talking about all of the things that happen that are good, and trying to go from that negative state to a more positive state, just so that I can have a better view of reality. And it's not just because I want to feel good, right? It's actually because life is good. This is beautiful. There is so much opportunity around me, and it's just amazing that I get to be here in the first place. The fact that I'm breathing, the fact that we're breathing, the fact that I get to be with people and interact with people and just be true. So, that's something that it's just so amazing, and I want y'all to dig into it. Just dig into it. And now, It's time for the interesting facts of the day. Yes, you heard it right, y'all. About to get into some real interesting facts. Definitely some stuff y'all never heard of. And get ready to be surprised. So I came upon this a couple days ago and it blew my mind. Take a second to guess in your head what percentage of homicides are committed by people that are drunk. All right, got it? So it's 40%. 40% of homicides occur when the aggressor is under the influence of alcohol. That's insane. I had no idea. There's no other drug or intoxicant in the world that leads people to so much violence than alcohol. And that fact alone is actually, well, there's a lot of other factors, but I'm considering not drinking. And I always drink when I go out. I love to get sloshed. So that's an interesting, it's an interesting thought that I've been having, and it's a freaking crazy fact. And another just insane fact. There's an island that's technically a British territory or part of the United Kingdom that is called the Pitcairn Islands. And it is only one family on the island, I believe. 56 people. No, what is it called? Airport. And the population shrinks every year. And the way that people first moved to the island was there was a shipwreck in the 1800s that the Pitcairn Islands was the closest for the people from the shipwreck. So they just moved there and started living there. It's insane. Yeah, and I don't know how I'd never thought about this before or connected the dots, but think about United Kingdom and then United States. It's crazy how many things we took, or not took, but, as the progeny of the United Kingdom, there's so many things left over. I think it's kind of cool, pretty interesting. And yeah, so we got one last fact for you guys, and I'm pretty pumped to share it. But first I have to do one advertisement, and this is free advertising, but I hope they sponsor me someday. Trader Joe's, oh my goodness, in New York, ooh, the prices are so much cheaper than any other grocery store. And if any of y'all try to tell me that you like Whole Foods, you guys are dead wrong. Dead wrong. Y'all be wasting money like that while I'm over here saving bread and eating better food. Yeah, but all right. So back to interesting fact. I love Peter Thiel. If you guys haven't heard of him, you got to check him out. One of the, in my opinion, smartest people. Maybe smartest, business savvy, just like straight edge. I don't know, crazy. Like people that are alive right now. And recently he got $5 billion worth, or he's had it for a while, but it just went public, that he has $5 billion worth of non-taxable income. How did he get that, you ask? Because taxes are crazy, and people love taxing the rich. So 5 billion would have been taxed down to probably 3 billion at best. But he got it through this thing called a Roth IRA, which is a non-taxable individual retirement account. And if you guys haven't heard of this, look it up. Look up a Roth IRA. Everybody should have one. What you can do is put $6,000 into it once yearly, and it is assumed by the stipulations of the Roth IRA itself that money is untaxed. So you put in 6,000, invest it into whatever you want. Once it's in the Roth IRA, you can buy index funds, mutual funds, stocks, like specific shares of companies that you think are good, ETFs, whatever, anything. And let the compound interest do its thing. And then you're allowed to touch the money once you're 59 and a half. So, I'm 22 right now. I started it like 4 years ago when I was 18, and I won't be touching the money for 37 more years, which is awesome. It's going to have so much time to grow, and it's going to be worth tens of millions by the time I'm done. But the way his became 5 billion was the company he invested in. He had a company named PayPal. Peter Thiel was one of the founders of PayPal, and a genius move. He bought thousands and thousands of shares of PayPal when it was a penny stock because he had access to it. And he knew that it was going to grow because it was his company. So, imagine $6,000 went 2 years in a row, that $12,000, and then each share was, for example, 10 cents. So the $12,000 turned into, if I'm doing my math right, 12 times 10, 120,000 shares of PayPal. And then the 120,000 shares, each share goes from 10 cents to what, 10 bucks? And it did way more than this, but that's a multiple of 1,000. So it would be 120,000 times 1,000, which I think is like 1.2 billion. So, it's simple math, and that's the strategy. If you can find a stock that's super cheap, buy a ton of it in your Roth IRA, and then let it multiply, you get all of that money tax-free. So I know that's a long, interesting fact, but definitely take note of that. And yeah, we out here. That is the Ayuka Show. I just want to thank you guys. I do feel in a much better mood. And take it easy. I said take it easy.